Good morning once again, and thank you for staying tuned to Sunrise at Sea. Welcome back from that short break, and welcome to the Twitter Jabs too. And right here, I have interesting conversations, interesting in-depth conversations about whatever trending topics are happening in and around the world. Well, we continue that conversation on road safety and that on road traffic and safety. And joining me to deliberate on this conversation is Engineer Waiswa Patrick, and he's the Commissioner of the Inspectorate of Vehicles. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And welcome to the show. Thank you for honoring our invitation.
You're welcome.
Happy Easter. Well, for my... Pardon?
You're a day late.
I'm a day late. No, it's Easter Monday, so we are still in the festivities. It's still Easter. Well, for my first question, Engineer, is I would like for you to please elaborate and explain to the viewer what the mandate of the inspection of vehicles or Inspectorate of Vehicles is.
The Inspectorate of Vehicles,
yes,
is a department under the Traffic and Road Safety Directorate,
yes,
of the Uganda Police, whose mandate is casually two roles. One is to test drivers,
okay,
and the other is to inspect vehicles. Under the testing of drivers, we have applicants who want to get driving licenses,
yes,
for all classes of vehicle. Apparently we have about 15 classes of vehicles.
okay,
So for all those classes of vehicles, it is the Inspectorate of Vehicles that tests the applicants and issues them with a certificate of competence,
all right,
if they are competent to drive the particular vehicle, class of vehicle they have applied for. So that is what we are mandated to do. And another thing, on our other role is inspection of vehicles, where we inspect vehicles that have been involved in road crashes, vehicles that at owner's request, someone might want to know the state of their vehicle. We do that inspection. We could do it for insurance purposes. The insurance company might want to know in what state a vehicle they want to insure is.
yes,
So they could call us to do the inspection for them. We could do the inspection for banks. Maybe they want to know the vehicle they are mortgaging, in what state it is.
yes,
So we could also do inspection, on-side, roadside inspections. These inspections which the public has commonly dubbed as DMC operations. DMC
yes,
stands for vehicles in dangerous mechanical state or condition. So we also do that kind of inspection. Then there is pre-registration inspection. For example, when a vehicle has been made and the registering body wants to ascertain if it's fit for road use, we also do that kind of inspection. And then you may also want your own inspection. For example, you have taken your vehicle to a garage,
yes,
and mechanics have worked on it, so you want to ascertain whether what they have done
yes,
is satisfactory. So you can come, we do the inspection for you,
okay,
and we tell you whether these guys have done a good job or not.
okay,
Yeah. Then there's also inspection we do, which is cross-border
all right,
inspection. For example, before Uganda and Rwanda border was closed, we used to do inspection of vehicles which were moving to Rwanda, which were crossing over to Rwanda, because it was one of the prerequisites that the government of Rwanda needed before you cross the border. Yeah, so under those two, driver testing and inspection of vehicles. That is exactly what we do.
all right.
Yeah.
So how do you ensure that every car on the road is being driven by a competent driver and is also in good condition to be on the road? How do you manage that?
All right. First, the person who is driving the vehicle must actually be competent to drive that vehicle.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, by the way, even motorcycles are vehicles.
Yes.
And even tractors are vehicles. Even engineering plants, they are also a class of vehicles.
All right.
So whoever is operating that kind of machine must have a license. We usually, before the amendment of the 1998 Act, we used to call them driving permits.
Yes.
But nowadays, we call them driving licenses.
Okay.
Right? So someone must be having a license to operate.
A valid one at that.
Yes.
Yes.
To operate the vehicle which he is actually driving at that time.
Okay.
Yeah. We have taxi, these commuter taxis. Their class of vehicle is D1.
Yes.
So you shouldn't be found operating or driving a taxi, a commuter
Vehicle.
that PSV, that 14-seater,
Yes.
when you actually don't have
That license.
that class of vehicle or the license itself.
Okay.
Yeah, because normally we find people operating the taxis, yet they are driving out of class. That is the offense. You're
Yes.
driving out of class. So, first, the person must be qualified to drive that kind of vehicle before he even steps into
The vehicle
the
itself.
vehicle itself.
Okay.
Yeah. Then, if someone is a driver, as opposed to a person who moves the vehicle.
What is the difference between a driver and a person who moves a vehicle?
You see, a person who can move a vehicle, yeah, somehow, somewhere, knows that if I put in gear number 1, the vehicle moves on the road. But that is just a car mover. But then we have a driver who has more knowledge about the vehicle than just knowing where gear number 1 is,
Yes.
or gear number 2, or placing the gear shift into D,
Yes.
and then the vehicle can move.
All right.
Yeah, these drivers, they have something beyond them. Like, for example, they know that if this vehicle tires are in this shape, I am supposed to go and inflate them. Okay, the drivers know that if my windscreen has a crack which is this long, I should have this windscreen replaced.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of things. The drivers know all those indications on the dashboard.
Yes.
Yes, you get it. Yeah, so they know all that, as opposed to guys who just know how to move the vehicles. You can tell someone, you can tell a car mover can see something on his dashboard, like, for example, something saying check engine.
Yes.
Yes, and it doesn't interpret it because it's saying check engine, although the car can still move,
Yeah.
but it is telling you something.
Something is wrong with the
Something
engine.
is wrong.
Yes.
Yes, I have seen people driving under inflated tires. But if you're driving an underinflated tire and you're a driver, even the feel in the steering can tell you. But a car mover ignores that. You get it?
Yes.
So there is that communication between the car
And the
you
driver,
and the
yes.
driver, and again between the road and the car and then the driver.
Yes.
You get it?
Yes.
So the person who is supposed to interpret everything is the driver, as opposed to the car mover. Remember, the road, as you're driving, the road is also talking.
True.
You get it? It's telling you there are humps ahead. There is a sharp corner. Drive at 50.
Yes.
Don't go beyond.
The road signs, yes.
Yes, it is telling you. You get it?
Yes.
There's an article I wrote in the papers. I don't know yet if it's out, but I was trying to show the road users that actually the road is telling you something. It is speaking. Are you listening?
Yes.
You get it? For example, there is a border rider who died because he dodged using the humps. You see, there is that small space
Between the pavement and the humps,
yes. So he carefully came and passed through that space. You get it?
Yes.
After carefully shooting through at a high speed, eventually there was a truck, a sino truck, which was coming from a feeder road.
Yes.
And he met with it.
Oh Lord.
Unfortunately, he died. Yeah, but he missed the objective of what the road was telling him at that time.
Yes.
The road was telling him that there are humps here. Reduce your
speed.
Go
slow.
Because there is a feeder road ahead. So had he, even if he had dodged the humps, but reduced his speed, because the road was already talking, reduce your speed. But this border rider
didn't listen. You make it sound very poetic. Very poetic. And I love that. I appreciate that it's very important that drivers have to, pay attention to the road and to the car because they are speaking to you. I had never seen it that way. Never seen it that way.
So because you're a driver,
yes,
you start seeing the road in a different way, as opposed to just moving the car. You get my point?
I get your point.
Yes.
So, engineer, I would like to ask you, at the moment, is it just the police inspectorate doing inspections of vehicles, or are there other authorities? Because Parliament did put on hold the services of SGS because of the high fees. So are there any other authorities or maybe private-owned companies that are also doing inspection, or it's just the police station, the police inspectorate?
Apparently, inspectors of vehicles, we have with Ministry of Works.
Okay.
They have inspectors of vehicles there. We have with police.
All right.
And of course, even private companies have. I don't want to speak their names because they don't pay me to advertise them.
Okay.
Yeah, but apparently,
yes,
they can also do it. Yeah, yeah. The police is actually getting modern equipment.
All right.
To do modern inspection.
Yes.
Right now, we are still using rudimentary methods of inspection, but in a few months, I suppose by beginning of next year,
yes,
we will be having equipment that can really talk.
Yes.
That can really show, because we are, like I told you, we are part of the traffic directorate. We are so much aware that our country, the GDP, would go higher if our roads are much safer.
Yes.
Tourists are so much interested in coming to see how Uganda is, and whenever the traffic report indicates that Uganda is having a road carnage toll so high, and some tourist can say, I'm not visiting Uganda, and we lose that kind of money. You get it?
Yes.
Yeah, but if we are able to make sure that our roads are safe,
yes,
then we can be able to also indirectly work towards making our GDP better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the Uganda police did issue out a report between the 3rd and 9th of April of this year, this month, 2022. And they did say about 370 accidents had occurred within that period. What would you attribute or say was the main cause of these accidents?
Yeah, accidents, there are a lot of things. The main cause could be human error, because that's the main thing.
Yes.
It's actually the main, and if you look through it, it's the only thing.
Yes.
If you don't inflate your tires, what is that?
Human error.
If you drink drive, what is that?
Human error.
If you carelessly drive, what is that?
Human
If
error.
you recklessly drive, what is that?
Human error. Yes,
So
it is.
all those are channeled to one thing. The
Yeah.
human, the guy, you get it? Phone calling.
Texting.
Texting on the phone. What is that?
Human error.
Yes. So these things called road design, probably, I think, contribute towards, I mean, about like 3% of these road accidents. And if it's a road design, and it is seen
Yes.
that there is a black spot ahead, all right, there are warnings which are on the road
Yes.
telling you where you're going is it's a blind spot. So again, it, much as we're saying it's the road design,
Yes.
but again, the road design translates into a human error.
Yes.
So to me, it's 100%
Human error.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. So I'm just out of curiosity, I'd like to know, in the event somebody takes their car for inspection at the Inspectorate of Police and it is deemed unworthy, or there are some technical issues here and there, is the car impounded? Is the car confiscated? What is done? What is the procedure to have it fixed?
All right.
And what gets done when it's
You
found
see,
and deemed unworthy?
the intention of the person also matters.
All right.
I mean, you yourself, you've driven your vehicle, you've brought it to the experts to tell you
Yes.
that your vehicle is in good state or a bad state. And eventually we find that the vehicle is in a bad state. You came yourself, okay? You came to be advised.
Yes.
We would really think that this person
Has good intentions.
a good
as-
intention.
Yes.
So you write for them a report. The report, of course, definitely is showing you that this part is not right. Your vehicle needs wheel alignment. Your tires need balancing, stuff like that. Go change your oil. Your lights, they don't shoot appropriately. Go have them cleaned and stuff. That's a report which is advisory,
Yes.
which we give you, and then you go away and rectify those things. We would think you've come in the spirit of road safety.
Yes.
So we let you go in the spirit of
Road
road
safety.
safety. Okay? But there are these gentlemen who are, that person who has come is actually a driver. But now he come over. We are on the road carrying out operations.
All right.
We find you, then they say, please carry your vehicle to IOV,
Yes.
to the IOV for inspection. So we find that this person was drugged. What we do, to make sure he is drugged further, we deregister your vehicle. Okay?
All right.
Deregistering means we have retain your number plate,
All right.
your registration plate, until you go fix the defects which have been mentioned in the report we give you. All right? Then you come back for
Your number plate and
your
get
number
registered
plate.
again.
Yes, for reinspection. That we call it reinspection. If you reinspect it and you find you fit again, your number plates are given back.
Okay.
Or if we find you did some repairs, but again they are not satisfactory, we still write your report and you go back till
And you can't drive without a number plate on this in the country.
You're not supposed to.
Yes.
Yeah. So once the number plate is removed, you have to go and rectify the defects, and then you come back.
All right.
All right. You see, manufacturers make these vehicles. For example, Toyota makes the vehicles. It has inspectors of vehicles who pass that vehicle at manufacturer standard, because the manufacturer himself is given the minimum standards at which a vehicle must what?
Operate.
Must operate.
Yes.
So he makes the vehicle beyond those standards.
Yes.
You get it? For example, if a sheet of metal which is supposed to be on the covering of a vehicle, there's a particular hardness it's supposed to have.
Oh, okay.
So the limit of that hardness, the manufacturer must meet it. Then eventually pass the vehicle. Now, this vehicle, as the manufacturer has made it, he makes it and gives it what we call a design life. It is supposed to have a life.
Yes.
He says this car will live for 20 years.
Yes.
This car will live for 30 years. He gives it a design life. Now, during that design life, the manufacturer expects this vehicle to be running as per the minimum standards which were set for him.
Yes.
You get the story. So, as time goes on, he issues, while he's taking out the issue, he issues you with a book which is called an operator's manual. That operator's manual has all the things which is saying that this vehicle shall be run, replaced, this gadget, this particular part will be replaced after maybe it has gone through this number of revolutions.
Yes.
After a certain time. There are parts which are replaced after a time, others are replaced after revolution, others
Yes.
are replaced after a mileage, a kilometer reading, others are replaced as you see them.
Yes.
You get it? So this manufacturer is expecting you to run the vehicle as
It should be run.
as he left it, with those minimum standards from his factory.
Yes.
Now, the inspectors of vehicles along the world or everywhere are supposed to make sure that this vehicle still is on the standard which the manufacturer did what?
Left it.
Passed it.
Passed it, yes.
You get it? If it fails below the standard, please go and push it back to the standard. So that is the simple mathematics of the inspection of vehicles.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And for my last question, I would like to ask you, how can a driver, not car mover, how can a driver ensure that their car is in a good condition every day before they leave the house? What is it that they should check for? What are those key things that you should check for before you leave the house, before you drive your car out of the house?
Of course, there are simple things. You know, before you become a driver, you're taken to a driving school.
True.
And the driving school people are given a curriculum by the Ministry of Works.
Okay.
This Ministry of Works, the curriculum which is given, and a person has gone through the driving school, should be able to have learnt those things, because the driving school would have imparted that knowledge into you, into that person. You get it? But to throw some light again, one, you should know if your tires are inflated to the right pressure. If you feel they are not, you can pass by any gas station and see if they're inflated to the right pressure, tire pressure. Then secondly, look at the coolant levels, the coolant levels, look at the hydraulics, I mean the lubricant levels in the vehicle. Are they at the right? If they are not right, put them right, then you can have your trip.
Okay. What are the lubricants? Just clarify for... I know some people may not know what these lubricants are. They just see things in their car, but don't take the initiative to understand what they are.
There's what they call engine oil.
All right.
That one runs the...
Okay.
It runs in the engine.
Yes.
Yes. Then there is what we call hydraulic.
All right.
That one could be used for power steering, to make sure your steering is soft.
Okay.
And also there are other things, which some other vehicles which have other authentics. For example, it can rise up, it can go down. So the hydraulics. Yes. Which you need. Then there is brake fluid.
All right.
To see if the brake fluid level is what? At the level it should be. Because an indication of your brake fluid level being low means that one, it may have a leakage, or your brakes have actually worn out.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Because once they get worn, the level keeps
reducing.
You get it. So it's an indication that you should run to a mechanic to
fix that.
A competent mechanic, by the way, to help you fix that.
Yes.
Then something which people forget is to check their lights. Someone forgets to check the lights if they're working. And then in the night he's surprised. Wow, my light's blue. And something which he should have known before.
Leaving the house, yes.
Before leaving the house. You get it?
Yes.
Yeah, then other issues like the wiper blades. You might be shocked. Like you leave, it's not raining, but it starts raining and your wipers can't actually clean your windscreen appropriately. So you're rudely awakened by something you would have fixed.
Yes.
Lately.
Right.
Then some other thing which people forget is the AC. It looks like AC is air conditioning of the vehicle. It means very many things. For us engineers, AC can mean alternating current. Yeah, but for you, so in this particular case, I'm meaning the air conditioning.
Yes.
Yeah, and recently I started deregistering vehicles whose air conditioning is not working. Yeah,
really?
And people find it so...
Some people treat SC as a luxury because they think that, if you use the SC, then you're going to use up your fuel really fast. And then other people also cry allergies and say, I'm allergic to SC. Some people treat it as a luxury in the car that they don't need. I witnessed an accident
which was caused because the gentleman didn't have SC, or actually had it but didn't know how to use it.
Oh, Lord.
All right, now, it can start raining while you're driving, and your windscreen becomes
misty and foggy.
Yes. Now, the AC is supposed to help you clean the mist away. You get it?
Yes, so that you're not wiping with your hand like this.
By a click of a button on your dashboard, the mist is supposed to go away. But it can't go unless you have AC.
Yes.
So I've seen these guys, once that happens, he reaches his pockets, brings out a hanky, then it starts. It's already
distracting that the rain is pouring so heavy, your screen is misty.
He's doing it, yet the manufacturer put a button for that. He saw it already.
Yes.
And he put a button that once you're driving, just press that and your windscreen clears automatically.
Yes. Without
you going through
the manual process of using your hand.
So when you come to me and your AC is not working, I deregister your vehicle and then you go fix it, then you come back.
Oh, Lord.
I will have saved another life somewhere.
That is true.
And I would have educated you if you don't know that your AC can actually do that.
Yes.
In a rude way, though.
Yes. All right. Lastly, engineer, just curiosity, how much would it cost to have your vehicle inspected by the inspector?
The inspection fee is just, it is 62,000.
All right.
With bank charges, which raise it to 65.
All right.
Yeah.
This is across the board for motorcycles, tractors,
At the
whatever the
moment,
vehicle is.
we were thinking of revising it for motorcycles
Yes.
because actually, I for one, I feel it is high.
Bit much. Okay.
Yes, it's high because motorcycle people think they are lower. But again, to inspect a motorcycle, you use more energy than even
the vehicle.
than the
car,
vehicle.
yes.
Yeah, because it has those small parts which are so essential.
Yes.
Yeah, but out of humanity.
Yes. All right. So lastly, any last remarks, engineer, before I let you go?
Oh, definitely. Inspection is entirely all about road safety. Have a perfect vehicle, you're the best.
Yes.
Be a perfect driver, you're the best. Technology and the road construction, technology keeps changing. If technology has changed, also you as a driver, come out and also learn.
Yes.
There are some road signs which were not there in 1990.
Yes.
For example, a road sign which would tell you do not drive below 30 because we didn't have highways.
Yes.
Now you can't. There's now on the 1000 bypass. There's a road sign which says you're not allowed to drive below what?
30.
Below 30.
Yes.
So it wasn't there. But if that road sign has come up, you're supposed to embrace it. Also know
what it
the
means.
road has shifted. It's no longer the road of 1990. We are in 2020 plus. So as technology moves, also driving moves. Because even the vehicles, they're changing.
Yes.
Changing. Right now, we even have electric cars.
Yes.
We have them. So as a driver, you also have to keep changing. For the sake of road safety.
Yes.
Okay? This thing called road safety kills more people than COVID, by the way, in Uganda here. Yeah. Having more than 3,000 people.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Keep telling people that you've not really understood what 3,000 people, but but in the whole of Uganda, there's hardly a school with 3,000 students. So imagine those could be about 5 schools.
Yeah.
Imagine all the people in those 5 schools
Lord.
perishing. So if you take it in that perspective, then you would really see the importance of road safety.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Engineer Wisewa Patrick, for joining me today on the Twitter Jabs. And he's the Commissioner of the Inspectorate of Vehicles. So please have your vehicles inspected. And just like he has said, please pay attention to your vehicle, pay attention to the road. It's very poetic. And after he explained it today, I am now going to be listening to my car and to my road. Listen, please. Every function in your car is necessary. Ensure that your tire pressure is right. Ensure your AC is right, your lights, your engine oil, all the fluids in the car, your radiator, the coolant, every part of your car is essential. And please wear your seatbelt, okay? Don't drink and drive, don't text and drive. This is Sunrise at Sea. Coming up is our wellness segment, and Aggie is going to be teaching you how to make a cappuccino. This is Sunrise at Sea. Don't blink.